All right, guys, so we got something a little bit different today on my channel. For those of you familiar with me, you know I have a dog training channel. But since I have a lot of subscribers, I get a lot of email offers, you know, people wanting to send me stuff. And like, I generally don't take anybody up on it. I've never actually reviewed a product before, but I was up in Princeton meeting with some wrestling coaches with my son, and we saw a bunch of kids riding bikes like this around. And when I got home, somebody had emailed me and asked me if I would like to review this electric bike. Now, I'm in no way an expert on electric bikes. I'm not pretending to be, but I do own a dog kennel, and I am out like exercising dogs a whole lot. And when I'm exercising dogs a lot, I'll oftentimes use a motorcycle. I have a Honda Trail 125. I have a Yamaha 225 XT. I have a bunch of four-wheelers. I have a side-by-side. So I'm pretty familiar with machinery as it relates to being outside and having fun, right? Okay, so anyway, they sent me this bike, and I'm gonna tell you guys today what I think about this bike. Now, this is what is known as a TST R002. This is the 2025 model. It's 1500 watts. I'm not exactly sure what that means in relation to other mountain bikes, but we're gonna ride it around so you guys can compare and contrast based on your own research and experiences. It costs somewhere around $1,000, maybe on sale for $900. They say it's gonna be more expensive later, but what else would they say, right? The review of the bike, listen, it was easy to put together, okay? Come in a nice box. My daughter and I, we got it out and put it together in a little under an hour. I will post a couple of pictures up here in the corner real quick for you to see. So there's the bike, there's us putting it together. All in all, super easy, didn't take any special tools. Now, performance. I have nothing to judge it against other than you know, real motorcycles and real ATVs. But I was pleasantly surprised. Up to this point, I've been really kind of amazed that it works as well as it does. Okay, because out here, I mow my grass real high at about 5 inches so that the dogs won't tear it up. And I have a lot of trails out back, which you're going to see at the end of the video. And there's quite a bit of hills. It's pretty rough. And I didn't think that an electric bike would be able to navigate my property the way this does, okay? Now, this has a pedal assist, and kind of, you know, you choose how much power the bike gives you based on the corresponding number that you choose on the instrument panel. It goes 1 through 5. We generally keep it at 1 or 2, maybe 3 if we're back on the hills. We have taken it out on the road and put it in, you know, on level 5 and rode it, and it got up, you know, somewhere 20-something miles an hour, maybe plus or minus a couple of miles an hour. I wasn't really trying my best to go super fast. Value, I would say this, and maybe some people that come out here and train dogs will chime in the comment section, but this thing, but so far been a pretty good value because I don't mind taking people and just putting them on it and letting them ride around the yard. It doesn't weigh very much, you know, so if they fall down, it's not like letting them ride my trail or my XT or one of my four-wheelers where if they wreck it, they're gonna hurt themselves or they're gonna run over a dog and really hurt the dog. I think like a lot of value. If this thing costs $900, now I don't know how long it lasts, right? It seems to be built pretty sturdy. So I feel like it's gonna last, you know, but again, I don't have anything to compare it to. We'll keep it and keep you updated on how it works. Would I recommend it? Up to this point, I've had it a month. Now, this is one thing, I looked at a couple of bike reviews, not many, because I'm really not into bikes, but I noticed that most of their bikes weren't dirty. And so I don't know that I ever trust a review if somebody has a garage and they're reviewing tools and the tools aren't dirty, or they're reviewing four-wheelers and the four-wheelers aren't dirty, or they're reviewing bicycles and the bikes aren't dirty, you know? So main advantage of these fat tires is we can ride it whether it's raining or muddy or not. So like we've been riding it in the rain, we've been riding it in the mud, we've been riding it on the rocky trails, and up to this point, done really well. Now, a couple things I'm not sure about. I like to have extras of everything, so I need to figure out where I can get some, you know, some extra tires and extra brake pads and stuff. When I look at these tires here, I'm a big tire guy. Like, you know, for those of you who watch my channel a lot, you'll notice that I got Michelins and BFGs on everything, right? So I'm big on tires. These tires, to me, I feel like I could probably find some tougher looking tires, so I'm gonna look into that. I didn't see that they offered a rack, so I took a rack, just a little carry rack that we have for a little Honda 90 ATV, and I took it off the Honda 90 and I zip tied it to this, carry a little water around, carry some retrieving items, things like that. Is there anything I don't like about the bike? Well, when the brakes get wet, and this could be all electric bikes, I don't know, but they really do make a lot of noise. And then I'm so short that, like, I would like to see a bike like this, but maybe just for short people, right? Because like when I have to get on it, you know, like I got to kind of tippy toe. Now this is the same thing with my motorcycles, and I'm sure most of you guys are not as short as I am. But like if I had my druthers, there would be just some way, either another version of this bike or some way like a dog bone or something where we can like lower the seat level a little bit. All right, so that's all I know about this electric bike up to this point. How you turn it on, pretty simple. It's got a little knob down here that activates the back activation, and then you have an on-off switch up here on your left-hand side. Now, this is pretty neat. You can either just pedal and the pedal assist will come on, or it's got a little, let me see if I can get you to see it. It's got a little thumb dealy there. I guess that if you're too lazy to pedal, you can use this little thumb throttle here and get going. Okay, but I don't mind pedaling. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ride it around kind of on my exercise with small challenges course. And I am in no way like a good bike rider. So like this is what a 50-year-old man can do on an electric bike in terms of agility. Then we'll ride it out in the yard. And for any of you guys that remember back in the day, like I do, like just single speed bicycles with little skinny tires, there was no riding them in the grass. You know, they were horrible to ride in the grass. So I'm gonna ride this up in the grass and try to avoid running over any dogs. So we'll get kind of a basic idea of what it's like. And then I'll have my wife jump on the four-wheeler, and I'll let her go out and ride in what we call our pre-adventure area, our trail system, and I'll follow her with the bike. And you guys can see what it looks like in kind of rougher terrain. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in, I don't know what you would call this, but level 1 pedal assist, and I'm gonna start pedaling, and I'm just gonna move around the course here to demonstrate whether the bicycle is easy to manage. I'll try not to get too far out of the screen, cameraman. Now, if you guys are wondering why I exercise these dogs with motorcycles and ATVs and bikes and skateboards and things like that, well, we're just trying to make sure that the dogs are desensitized to those types of things, so that when people go camping or they go out in the yard and go out in the cul-de-sac and the kids are playing on their bikes, that the dogs are used to motorized vehicles. A lot of dogs have tendency to get a little bit overexcited when they're around things with wheels, bikes, skateboards, motorcycles, four-wheelers, cars. This kind of desensitizes them to that. Plus it provides a really easy way for me to tire them out. I use fatigue to my advantage a lot in my dog training system. I'm a firm believer in the saying that a tired dog is a good dog. But you can see, like, again, I am no bike riding prodigy. I haven't been on a bike. Who knows how long it's been since I've been on a bike. And I've had this one for a month, and I'm able to successfully navigate it through all these obstacles with all these dogs hanging around, you know. All right, now I'll go out here in the field and I'll ride it around in the grass. And like I was saying, any of you guys who remember how tough it was to, you know, ride bikes in the grass back in the day, like this is pretty amazing to me, you know. Come on, dogs, let's go. Very nice dogs. Now, I don't know how well that'll show up in the footage, but that's actually a pretty steep hill. All right, cameraman, I'll try to stay a little closer to you right here and see if I can keep the dogs in frame. But listen, go outside and try to ride your regular bike in the grass like this, and it won't take you long to realize how old you are. You know? Now, this is an activity that just honestly would have been off limits to me personally, you know, if I just wanted to go out and exercise my dogs with the bike. Just at my age, you know, I can ride or I can walk a lot every day and stuff like that, but you know, I'm not going out and biking. And I could bike downhill, you know what I'm saying? But I'd be walking, pushing my bike up the hill. And I think that's what's pretty amazing about this electric bike is I remember when I was a little kid, we had a big hill in Wycliffe, and I'd like to always try to pedal up, and then I'd get kind of going sideways. I had to get off and finish walking my bike up the hill, you know, and that always bummed me out. But like I would be doing a lot of pushing of this bike, which is why I have four-wheelers and motorcycles, you know. But this electric assist, it's actually pretty amazing, you know. Now, one thing you do, it takes a little while to get the hang of it. Sometimes if you don't, you know, if you're not careful, when you first hit your pedaling, the bike will kind of take off on you a little bit and surge forward. So you'd want to really be careful riding this around your dog till you got the hang of it. So in other words, go out, ride it a couple of weeks, and get the hang of it before you exercise your dog with it, because you don't want to be running over your dog. But look at that, ain't that pretty amazing? Very nice. And here I go. All right, so I guess that'll be the end of you know, my basic review of the bike here at my main facility. We're going to head out back. I don't really have anything else to say, so I'll just put some footage in here. That way, if you're done watching the video, you don't like the bike, fine. If you do like the bike, fine. I'll put a link in the description. You can buy one of these bikes if you want to. I don't really care. I mean, these deals like this, everybody's always kind of shilling something on YouTube. You don't really make any money off of it, so whatever. But electric bikes in general, like, look, I think it's a big plus for me. I you know, I have a lot of respect for them. I never really understood how cool they were until I got one. This one seems to be a very good one, and if I was going to buy one, I'd probably err on the side of buying a $900 one or a $1,000 one before a guy out, you know, before I spend $4,000 or $5,000 on one, because a guy was out here the other day and he got on this one. He said he had just bought one that was $3,500, and he said this one rode a little bit better. So I don't know. All right, well, if you want the bike, go buy one. If not, that's fine with me. Now I'm going to put some footage for the rest of this video, and you guys can just kind of watch and see how the bicycle performs in what I would consider basically terrain that couldn't be done by a man my age on a normal bicycle. All right, I'm going to put these dogs back in the kennel, grab my Mentor dogs, and then we'll head out to the pre-adventure area. Now right here, as I'm leaving my training field and going into the pre-adventure area, you'll see that it's pretty flat, pretty well manicured. So this is, I mean, listen, I'm sure a lot of you guys could, you know, you younger people could ride a regular bike out here. But you know, like I was saying earlier, I'm not the best bike rider in the world. And you can see that right here with just a little bit of pedal assist, I'm able to follow my daughter on the four-wheeler and just barely have to pedal. I kind of pedal, the little electric motor kicks in, gives me a little boost, then I can coast for a little while. You know, as a matter of fact, if you notice my hands, you'll see me hitting the brakes periodically because the bike is kind of wanting to go a little bit faster than what my daughter's going to go. So here in a second we're going to turn and we're going to start going downhill. One of the things that I really like about the bike is those fat tires give me a lot of stability when I'm going downhill, because you know I've been working on these trails for a long time, but there's still lots of areas where I don't have a good grass bed, and it gets real muddy and slippery after it rains. And so sometimes when I'm on my Honda trail, it gets a little bit squirrely going down the hills if I have to stop suddenly. You know, that's what I like about this bike, is it's so lightweight. It's just a lot easier to control with dogs darting in front of you, dogs coming out of the brush to the side and stuff. So I really like it. Now here we're coming up a hill, and you can't really tell in the video how steep that hill is, but trust me, it's a lot steeper than it looks. And maybe it's just steep for me because, you know, I'm a little bit older, but I think of it as being pretty steep. Now you can see on the tires, you can see the mud and the water. I know that's hard to tell in the video, but a lot of the downhill portion of the trail course is pretty saturated because we had a thunderstorm this morning. Now here I'm just kind of chilling out. My daughter's in second gear on my Honda Rubicon, and I think we're probably just going maybe 5 or 6 miles an hour here. And every once in a while I'll have to pedal. And basically when I go to pedaling, the pedal assist will kick in and kind of give me a boost, and then I can coast for a while. As a matter of fact, if you watch closely, you can see that I periodically have to hit the brakes because I'm getting too close to the four-wheeler and I know I'm getting out of the frame. So here we're going down a hill. Again, I know it's hard to tell how steep this is, but it's a pretty steep little hill. And I'm having to ride my brakes, and those big fat tires are giving me quite a bit of stability. I feel very comfortable. I feel perfectly safe having the other dogs around. Now we're going to go down a little path. And again, this is just a little bit steeper than it looks, and I'm having to put some extra effort into the pedaling. Not a ton, but a little. Now we're going to come down the hill and switch over to a little trail that goes up and down. And you can see right there, it's a little bit muddy. Bike tracks perfectly well, and it makes me very happy. You know, it makes me like feel super secure that I can have a bunch of dogs out here. Now I have my mentor dogs out here because they're more predictable. But I ride the new kennel dogs around out back with this bike all the time also, and I've never had not one problem of not being able to stay going in the direction I wanted to stay or to stop quickly enough. Now right here, this is the steepest hill in my pre-adventure area, and I did have to stand up here. Now I probably wouldn't have had to stand up if I would have changed levels for the pedal assist, but I kind of wanted to pedal a little bit, you know, just to see what it would do. And sure enough, I came right up that hill, and now I'm chilling. You'll see I have to hit the brakes a little bit because I'm getting just a little too close again. And we're going to stay on the flat for a minute and pick up speed. Kind of cruise here. You can start to tell the dogs are, you know, this went on for a long time. I cut out the boring parts, and you can kind of see that the dogs, they're starting to get a little bit on the tired side, you know. But we're just going to cruise around here. Now we're headed back to my main facility. So this is downhill. Notice I'm on the brakes again. No problems tracking. Very nice. And that's it. That was a little trip around our pre-adventure area. I was able to exercise the dogs. I was able to get a little bit of exercise myself, which was awesome. And you know, again, I just get back to the idea that this is a wonderful piece of machinery. Now I don't have anything to compare it to. I've never ridden another electric bike, but as far as do I like this one? Yeah, I like it a lot, and it is replacing my Trail 125 for a lot of my normal daily activities.